Hello everybody, it's me here, Cameron, and welcome to today's video. And today we've got a video coming out talking about renting a property for the first time. This video is mostly going to be an experience video. I don't really know what I'm going to be talking about in today's video, truth be told. But I think it's an interesting topic to talk about. Renting properties sucks. It is a terrible process. It's almost a dinosaur market, I would consider property, because a lot of the property market is not consumer focused. Obviously, when you buy a car or you buy a telephone, typically the companies are trying to entice you, the customer, to buy the product. When it comes to properties, it's almost the opposite. They're almost trying to put you off. It seems like they're almost trying to make the process as difficult as possible. In the context of viewings, for example, you'll want to do a property viewing and they won't be that willing to set up appointments. They'll be difficult. That's just my experience of things. But yeah, this video is going to be a lot of rambling. But I think honestly when I ramble, that's when I'm funny. So, I need to make more comedic videos. So yeah, before this video starts, smash the like button if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new today. If you don't know about my situation, I'm starting work at the end of this month. I'm actually scheduled to start working on the 22nd in a new place, a new city. Do you guys want to know where I'm moving to? Stoke. Yeah, it's not that great. It's really not that great. Now, I'm not actually moving to Stoke. I'm moving to a town near Stoke. I recently had one of my offers accepted, so I'm going through with the process of a property that I'm renting. But ultimately, I'm going to be moving near Stoke, and I'm going to be moving on my own. I'm going to be moving out of my parents' house for the first time, and I'm really excited. When I went to university, I commuted to uni. Because of that, I never had the experience of living alone, and it was something that I craved. I craved the independence of living alone. So firstly, when you're looking for a property, you can look through many different means. You can either look for a landlord directly, which is what I initially wanted to do. Ultimately, when you're dealing with an estate agent, it's just another variable. You're just adding someone you're talking through. Because ultimately, the estate agent, they're just talking to the landlord. It makes sense that you'd want to just deal with the landlord straight away. But the problem is with landlords is a lot of them are just dickheads. They're just not good people. Like, they almost treat you like you're less than them. And I remember I contacted a landlord directly. When you contact a landlord directly, you expect to save more money. I remember contacting this landlord asking if it was a house share because it said that the bills were paid for. Typically, if bills are paid for, it means you're living with someone else because someone else has to be paying for the bills. So I simply sent him a message saying, hey, is this a house share? And he replied, I'm not even kidding, blah, blah. I'll literally get a screenshot of the message. He replied, blah, blah. Like, no professionalism. And I replied saying, like, what do you mean by that? And he said, oh, it's rent. And then after he said it was a rental, I was interested. But he just showed no correspondence. There was no correspondence. And that's the thing with property and looking for property. It's very weighted on one side, and that's the landlord's side. The landlord has all the power. Because ultimately, when you look at the people looking for property, they need somewhere to live. Like for me, I can be looking at loads of different properties. Lots of them can be relevant for me, but ultimately, I need to move in. Like, I've got a deadline date. The landlords don't. Yes, if you have a property empty for a few weeks extra, you're going to make less profit, but it's not the end of the world. If you are looking for a property, if you're a potential tenant and you can't find somewhere to move into on time, that's going to be very detrimental to you. And because of that, being a landlord, it's very one-sided in their favour. And that's annoying. You notice more in politics, people getting angry at landlords. And even though I'm more right-wing, even though I'm more conservative, I do think the way landlords are, it is a bit greedy and it is a bit wrong, to be honest, which is not really a conservative point of view to have. But for me, I'm quite centrist. But I think landlords have a lot of power. And I think it's quite unfair how they are making a profit out of, ultimately, a lot of the time, people's desperation. Because the property I secured, I went to view it, and I'll talk about what I thought of it and everything later in the video. But ultimately, I ended up offering more just because I needed to secure the property. Ultimately, they're profiting off a need, which is not really a great business model. It's not really a favourable business model, So I contacted this landlord directly, and I just wasn't able to work with him because he was just a dickhead. Like, I literally replied saying, I'm looking for a rental, and he just didn't seem interested. And it's so weird because, you're literally offering to pay money. They're not buying something off you. If you're trying to sell something to someone, you expect that they're going to be a little bit rude, they're going to be a little bit uninterested, but not the other way around. Like, they should be trying to sell it to me, not treating me with disrespect, So when you apply through landlords, it's not that great. The second way you can apply for property is obviously through estate agents. Estate agents, they post these properties on property sites such as Zoopla, Rightmove, etc., etc. And that's ultimately where I gained more success. I've got some advice for you guys. Don't bother emailing them. Emailing these estate agents is so stupid. Just call them up. I don't understand why they even have an option. They do not look at their emails. Actually, they do look at them to reply to them by saying the property is not available anymore. That's the only time they use email, just to say that it's not available. Honestly, call them up. And when you call them up, these estate agents are dickheads, okay? They're all just dickheads. And what I noticed also, a lot of these estate agents, at the start, they have a thing where they say, click 1 if you are a landlord, click 2 if you are looking for somewhere to buy, click 3 if you're looking for somewhere to rent. I honestly believe the reason why they do that is because then they can funnel how to treat you. Like, they funnel you into a different route, and then they know how to treat you. So if you're a tenant, they'll treat you like gold. You'll get into the call, they'll be sucking you off. But then if you're looking for a property to buy, they'll give you a little bit more disrespect. But then if you're looking for somewhere to rent, they'll just disrespect the shit out of you. Like, that's genuinely how I believe it works. I think that's honestly why they segregate it, just so they know how much respect to give you. Because I think almost, real estate agents, they almost have to treat the people looking for property with disrespect, because they don't want too many people interested in the properties. What I found is every property I looked at, there were so many people trying to view it, so many people trying to secure it. And it didn't make sense because these properties weren't that nice. So one of the properties I looked at, I didn't know if it had a washing machine. The photos didn't show a washing machine. It's the ground floor of a flat complex, 1 bed. And I remember looking at it, thinking to myself, the washing machine is a big deal, because ultimately, if you don't have a washing machine, what do you do? Like, what, go to a laundrette? But when I went to visit the property, they did have a washing machine. It was just in a cabinet. And I was literally thinking to myself, why don't you just advertise that on the goddamn listing? Like, honestly, if they advertised that they had a washing machine, you'd probably get £30-40 a month more. This property was advertised as $450 a month, which is actually quite cheap when you consider it. Ultimately, find a property you like, call them up, ask for a viewing. That's the first thing you should do. Don't bother trying to reply before you view the property. I had a property that they wanted an application form done before you actually view the property in person. Why? What a waste of time. Literally just call them up, look for a viewing. Unfortunately, with this property, they had actually reduced the price of it per month, and that's not good news, because if they reduce the price of it per month, it means that they're obviously going to get more people competing for it. I really think with property, what they do when they're renting out property is they advertise an unrealistically low price just to get lots of people competing. Because obviously, if you find a property you like, you're going to become invested in it. If you go to visit the property and you actually really like the area, you're going to be invested in it. And if you understand that there's a good chance that you're competing with other people, it's very easy to just think with your heart and put a lot more money towards it and not bother about paying a lot more. Rather than, finding a property that's actually been priced right, if they're pricing it right, no one else is going to be competing with you. So you're not going to be thinking with your heart. You're just going to be paying what they're wanting. But yeah, I found this property, and it was like a 1-bed flat, and it looked like shit on the outside. It actually looked horrible. All the photos were like out of focus. I don't even know why I turned up, to be honest. I had very little hopes. I mean, it was $450 a month, and it was like an area of place to live, which is habitable. So that's probably why I took a look at it. And it was weird with my budget, because, my budget to rent, I mean, the job I'm starting, I should be making £3,000 a month off, before tax, which is a lot of money if you're living on your own. It's a lot of money. Like, you could easily rent a house for that, like, straight up, that's a good amount of money to make. But obviously, renting is just dead money. Like, it's not going towards anything. When you're renting a property, you're paying someone else's mortgage off 9 times out of 10. And ultimately, for me, if I live lean, i.e. I live in a flat, a one-bed flat, not in the nicest area, that's a lot of money I'm going to be able to save up for a mortgage later down the line. I've done the calculations. Within a year, I should be able to get a mortgage, like if things work well. So yeah, that's something that I'm trying to do. So I'm not bothered about living somewhere nice right now. But when I went to this flat, there were a few things that I was really impressed by. So I went to this flat. And what I recommend you do whenever you view a property, I've only viewed one property, but this is honestly good advice, is travel there on public transport. Don't travel in the car, don't get a lift. Just travel there on public transport. The reason why is because when you travel on public transport, you are around other people who live in the area, if that makes any sense. You can almost tell the vibe of the area because you're with other people. And when I travelled down public transport, what I realised, a lot of the people there were old. I had to walk through the town centre. Lots of old people. It seemed like an alright area. And I remember walking to this property. There was a really nice park next to it, like a memorial park. Hopefully I won't die, because then I'll be put in the memorial park. Is that how memorial parks work? If you die near it, do you get your name in the memorial park? Cameron Brown hung himself, hated his house. I'm in the memorial park now. So yeah, I went to visit the property, and the woman who showed me the property, she was about 6 foot tall. She was Polish. And this is actually a cool story. So I was on the bus going to the property, and there was this person asking for directions. Obviously, asking me for directions, even if I know the area, is a big mistake because I am a retard. But I didn't even know where I was going myself. So this woman came up to me. She had, I think, 2 daughters with her, quite attractive, probably underaged. Oh no. Why did I say that? Oh no, they weren't attractive, they were pretty, but not in a sexual way. But yeah, this woman, she asked for directions. And I was like, oh yeah, you're on the right side of the road. Yep, off we are to Hanley. This is the bus to Hanley. Woo. And it was actually the wrong side. So we're waiting for the bus, and she's listened to my advice. And then there's this other bus that comes down the other side of the road, and it says Hanley. And I'm like, oh shit, guys, go over here. And then we got on the bus. Imagine that, asking for directions from me. Of course they were going to be wrong. That's a lapse in your judgment, asking me for directions. I can't lie. So yeah, we went on the bus, and she laughed it off, which was good. But then she sat next to me, which was really weird. But yeah, this woman was Polish, right? And the person who was offering me the viewing had a Polish surname. And she was going to the same area as me, and she didn't really know the area too well. So I thought that was the person showing me the property. And I remember, I was very confident about it. I said to her, I hope you know where you're going for the property. And she just looked at me, got out. It wasn't even her. This isn't even funny. This is just so awkward. I've told this lady, oh yeah, this is the right side of the road, waiting for the bus, and it's not even the right side, so we've had to run to the other side to catch the bus. She sat next to me, I think to consolidate me, and then I've gone and said to her, I hope you know where to go once we get to Hanley. And she's not even the bloody estate agent. Oh God. Oh God. But then after that was really awkward, because she was sitting next to me on the bus, and she was like, what do you mean? She was so confused and gone out. She literally went out of her way to sit next to me. Let's make that very clear. Her 2 daughters sat at the front of the bus. I was sitting on my own further down. There was chairs in front of me, so obviously she wanted to sit next to her daughters. She could have. No, she just sat right next to me. So she was trying to consolidate me. She was trying to be nice. And then I remember her saying, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, I thought you were my viewing agent. And she was like, why did you think that? And I was like, well, we're going to the same area, and they had a Polish surname, and you sound Polish. And then she said, I'm from Estonia. So I was even xenophobic as well. This poor woman. I've even nonced on her children as well. This is such an L. This poor woman, oh God. The children weren't over 16 for sure. Like they weren't that young. They're not like 6 years old. Okay, they're just younger than me, but not underaged, you know. I get to the property. This woman, this is a completely different Polish woman. She's 6 foot tall, quite manly. We visit this property. She can't open the door. Walk right inside. You go to visit a property. The door ain't even working. I can't even come in. But honestly, like looking outside the property, it was fucking shit. It was horrible, dusty, manky, like algae, not algae, like just degradation. But I go in the property and I'm really pleasantly surprised. It smells of fags. Not gay people, they don't smell bad. But actually fags as in cigarettes. A British colloquialism for the word smokes. But I was a little bit worried because my job involves night shifts. It's daytime right now, we're viewing the property. Outside, there's traffic going past. There's a bus route going past. I love buses. It's funny because I went on this property viewing. I took no pictures of the property. I took pictures of the buses and the train station, but not the actual property. So you guys can clearly see my autism in clear detail here. But yeah, I'm worried because outside there's loads of traffic. The buses are loud. Everything's loud outside. There's these goons playing drums. They're playing the drums in the memorial park where Papa Cameron's name will be, because I will die, next door to the memorial park. I really don't think you get your name in a memorial park if you die near it. I think I'm just stupid for thinking that. But yeah, I go into this place and it's really well noise insulated. Like I can't hear any noise from outside. I couldn't even hear the drums outside. I cracked a hilarious joke with the agent. I said to her, "Oh, do they normally play drums?" And she was like, "No, they don't." Ha ha ha. So I really made her laugh and made her cream a little bit actually. But yeah, I went to this property and it was obviously all right. She didn't say anything. She just said, "Look around. If you have any questions for me, ask me." And then she just went to the door and tried to fix it or some shit. I swear to God, she was trying to fix the door. It literally took us 2 minutes. 2 minutes of the appointment was trying to enter the premise. And then after that, you know, I looked at the property and it was exactly what I wanted. It wasn't great. It wasn't the nicest place, but it was all right. The area was quite nice. The bedroom is actually not near the front. It's not near the front of the actual apartment. But because, you know, I was far away from the road, because even though the road is right outside the property, because the room's further in, you can just shut the door and I couldn't hear the traffic go past. And I was really happy about the sound. And the room actually is dark. Like you can make it really dark, so I'll be able to sleep during the day. It's fantastic. But yeah, honestly, looking at the property, I secured it and I actually got happy with it. And I can't wait to show you guys it. You best believe we're starting a series making it look nice. It was nice to look at it. Actually looking at the property, you know, you really get a vibe for it. I literally commuted like 2 hours just to see this property for 10 minutes. So it would have been a massive waste if I didn't, you know, actually like it and didn't try to secure it. It was listed for $450 a month, but I decided to offer $470 and I wanted a year contract because I didn't want to just move out after 6 months. Oh, that's just a pain. But honestly, the best piece of advice I have for you guys, this is honestly the only piece of advice I have that's probably worthwhile. Actually, I have 2 pieces of advice. Whenever you find a property that you like, give them a call up. Just say, I want to view the property as soon as possible. Second thing you want to do is you want to commute there. You don't want to just drive there, because if you drive there, you just don't get a feel for the area. You really need to be in the area. Use the public transport. It really shows, you know, what the area is like and the location of it and everything. And number 3 is be positive about things. Don't be so pragmatic. You know, a lot of people go to a property and they're so pragmatic, and I'm thinking to myself, don't be. You know, I looked at the bath, it had a bit of red on it, but it's not blood. It's just tomato ketchup. Someone's just eating a sandwich, a cheese and tomato sandwich. Got a little bit of blood on the bath. Nothing to worry about. It's not blood or anything that's HIV positive. Nothing to worry about. It wasn't a murder scene. You just need to be optimistic. Oh God, this video was so rambly. But I enjoy making these videos, these more rambling videos. I used to do a lot more of them, you know, when I was younger, when my videos were more comedic, when my channel was doing a lot better. So I'm just trying to reignite the fire. Hopefully I did that. Thank you guys for watching this video. I have no clue what I'm even going to title this video, but hopefully I'll get some views. Otherwise, people will ridicule me for my channel being dead, and it's not dead, guys. It's just doing really well. You just can't see it. Anyway, guys, smash the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new today, and I'll be doing videos, hopefully, showing off the property, decorating it a little bit. I don't know. What can you do in a rental property? Can you have sex in it? Are you allowed to? I don't have anyone to do that with, and I never have done that before. But hypothetically, could I commission a prostitute to come to the premise? Is that in the tenancy agreement? Hopefully it is. Thank you guys for watching. Love you all.